Hey everyone, how's it going? So we're back with some more Explorer and Pioneer content, and today we're playing some Jeskai Affinity. So this is a deck that I've taken a kind of an example list from and just made a few tweaks to and just thrown together some cards, including quite a few new cards just to test them out. So we'll see if it is any good in the format. So Affinity is an ability which hasn't shown up in a standard set for quite a long time, mainly because the last time they printed a set with lots of affinity cards in, it kind of broke the game. So we have essentially the way affinity for artifacts works is that a spell with affinity for artifacts costs one generic mana less to cast for each artifact you control. So for something like Memory Guardian, it's a 3/4 with flying for 5, which normally wouldn't be a very good rate for constructed magic, but because of affinity for artifacts, we will often hopefully be playing this for 1 or 2 mana. And similarly, our other affinity card is Voyage Home, normally 7 mana. Affinity for artifacts can get that down as low as 2 mana. And there's a sorcery that says you draw 3 cards and gain 3 life, which for 2 mana is pretty darn spicy. So the way we kind of enable these payoffs is playing a lot of cheap artifacts. So we've got creatures which come with artifacts with them when they enter the battlefield. So we got 4 Spyglass Sirens, 4 Voldaren Epicures, and 2 Thraben Inspectors. We've also got 4 Portable Holes for some early interaction, as well as being an artifact which sticks around on the battlefield. Voyager Glide Cars. This is another new card that has a kind of I've forgotten what it's called now. That one drop, Warden of the Inner Sky, or whatever it's called. There's 2/3 for 1 artifact vehicle. When it enters Scry 1, and you tap 3 other untapped creatures you control. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains flying. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, and also you can just crew it for 1 as well. And so it does have those kind of dual abilities. So a lot of cheap artifacts down for 1 mana, then some more stuff at 2 mana. So we've got 2 Smuggler's Copters, great vehicle that very easily crews into a 3/3 and can also loot some cards away. 4 copies of Gleaming Geardrake. 1/1 for 1/1 for 2 with flying, comes with another artifact with it when it enters, and whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And we will be doing that from time to time with our clues, with our map tokens, with our blood tokens. And then another new card is Mendicant Core Guidelight. 2 mana for a star 3 legendary artifact robot. His power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Has start your engines, so when it enters you go to speed of 1. God, I really hate everything about this set. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life, and then max speed is 4. And then when you do have max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1, and if you do, copy it. We've also got Legion Extruder, just 1 copy of that for some additional value and removal. Shrapnel Blast is another payoff card. Sacrifice an artifact, deal 5 damage to any target. Often a couple of these will very quickly close out the game. And Metallic Rebuke, Improvise. So this is a slightly different ability to Affinity, but not kind of entirely different. This one lets you just tap artifacts to pay 1 generic mana towards this cost, and it's a counter spell. Then we've got a fair number of different dual lands, just because we are trying to run 3 different colours, and we need to be able to hit all of our colours reliably on 1 and 2. So we've got a fair few of the fast lands, some shop lands, and then a couple of basic lands and an Otawara as well. Then the sideboard, we've got 3 copies of Annul, so there's a lot of artifacts and enchantments running around the format at the moment, obviously with Aether Drift coming along, the Overlords deck, which is doing a lot of work, so just being able to cheaply counter any artifact or enchantment is going to be pretty good against lots of different decks. Spell Pierce, Aether Gust, Mystical Dispute, kind of our counter spell package. We've got some additional removal with Rending Volley and Sheltered by Ghosts, so particularly good against aggro decks. And then 3 copies of Mage Bane Lizard as well, which is a good way of counteracting decks like Phoenix or Lotus Field combo, just kind of making it very difficult for the opponent to chain together lots of non-creature spells, particularly Lotus Field. So yeah, that is the deck, Jeskai Affinity. As I say, I don't know how it's going to go, but it's got a fair few new cards that we can test out. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and let's go on to the ladder. So I think there's a version of Affinity that we can try at some point as well, using Metalwork Colossus and that kind of interaction. Leyline axes, brass knuckles, that kind of thing. Just generate lots of artifact value. Okay, Nico L. Bolos, what are you up to? So the Voyager glide cars do give us the ability to scry, so I think I will keep this hand. Okay, the opponent's on a sacrifice deck, which is fine. No to a card we can't cast. Interesting. So I could get rid of the Scavenger's Talent here, or just get rid of the cat. What is the right thing to do? We're portable holding something. Let's just take the cat away, I think. Play Threeman Inspector. Just start doing some things. Okay, the opponent has hit their second land drop. They're a Roots deck, that's fine. Ooh, Memory Guardian's pretty good. So I could cast that, or I could hold up Rebuke. Yeah, I think just getting a 3/4 flying into play is fine here. So the opponent's not close to doing plant-based activities quite yet. Okay, that's fine by me. Yep, we'll shock this in. Cast a Spyglass Siren. Don't think we need to do the turning it into a creature quite at this point. Gleaming Gear Drake is fine. I'll hold up Metallic Rebuke here. What does this do? You may put up a... Yeah, we'll stop this so they don't get any... And then we should be able to... Yeah, we can win with Shrapnel Blast this turn. Okay, they stumbled on mana a bit there, which helped. So they're playing a Roots deck, so I definitely want a Null. I think Spell Pierce is pretty good here as well. And then 4 cuts. Portable Hole's a good answer for most of what they're doing. Legion Extruder's okay. Is the Gear Drake a little on the slow side here? Though flying's pretty good at getting over there. Yeah, I might take out the glide cars. One Mendicant. No red mana is a little awkward, but I think this is probably good enough without it, and we can hopefully draw into it. Yeah. Goose is fine, that's not worth getting rid of by itself. So just have a Siren. That I think could go in a hole in a moment. They really must try and keep hands with more land. So we'll stick the Scavenger's Talent in a portable hole. Another Goose gives them access to one more colour of mana. Yep. So, Gear Drake, play Spire Bluff. Let's fire this off on the Gear Drake. Yep. Keep another Spyglass Siren is absolutely a-okay with me. Well, let's start by voyaging home. Okay, Legion Extruder's pretty good. Could start turning our creatures into 3/3s. Okay, they kept some bad hands there, so not surprising that that was a pretty comprehensive victory. Yep, this'll do. We're representing 10 damage in our hand just with the shrapnel blasts, so can't complain too much about that. So they're a Yorion deck, so this could be control, could be some sort of 80 card pile of good stuff. Yeah, I'll keep Mendicant Core. We'll start our engines. And we'll go up to 2 speed. Yeah, we can shock in. I think I think they're a control deck, so not that fussed about my life total. And we can either Shrapnel Blast or use our Clue token. Okay, there goes Mendicant Core. So our speed doesn't really matter so much here. I think I'd rather have the card than using the Shrapnel Blast there. Legion Extruder's pretty good. This portable hole's a bit of a dead one. So let's fire up the glide car again. Omen of the Sea is not a problem. Again, not worth portable holing once they've got the value out of it. Oh well, we've reached max speed if we ever find ourselves in a position where that matters. So we can now turn our cards into 3/3s, which is pretty good. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. We'll add some white mana. Let that resolve. Do I have a basic planes? I don't think I do. I think that's the one thing I don't have. No, so we'll just grab an island. Okay, so they're playing the pick up and go deck. Oh yeah, Can't play it. Do I want to kill that? Not really. Wait, are they just dead here? Yeah, I think they're dead if they don't block. Yeah. Shrapnel Blast. Sacking Legion Extruder. Shrapnel Blast. Sacking Voyager Glide Car. Boom! Okay. Spell Pierce. Rending Volley, I think, for their Storm Chaser's talents. Mystical Dispute. Annul maybe on the play to stop their 1-drop Storm Chaser's talent. What do I not like here? So they're not really a control deck in the conventional sense, so they've probably got some counter spells. Portable Hole felt a bit weak there. It's probably better against the... It's okay against Storm Chaser's talent, but I don't love it. And we'll trim one of our other counter spells. I think that's fine. Just checking we were recording again there. No white this time, and that is... Okay. We're relying on Smuggler's Copter to... Well, we're not relying on Smuggler's Copter anymore. That was pretty rough. Double Epicure at least gives us some redraw potential. Ooh, this is new. Okay, yeah, so it's another good bounce target. So let's go discarding. Sacrifices artifacts surveil too. Okay. Ooh, cheeky. Okay, I'll use that now. Can't cast that at the moment. Cannot cast that either. That's pretty rough. Well, we're not having Narset floating around, I don't think. Yeah, the mana in this deck can be a little awkward. Maybe I should have just put a null in. They probably have enough enchantments to make it worth it. Oh, well, you live and learn. Okay. We'll start our engines with Mendicant Core. That's about to get Mystical Disputed. Yep. Okay, well the opponent will eventually get a lot of value off these, but for the moment we are just going to carry on letting them do their thing. Well. Yikes. Okay, well, we'll lose the Shrapnel Blast here. Okay, well, I think I've seen enough for this game. Very awkward set of mana hands there, so Let's put back in a null, put in portable hole. I think take out Memory Guardian. Well, no, I'll keep in the Guardian and I'll take out Voyage Home. It's probably a bit too easily countered. Voyager Glide card can come out here. And Metallic Rebuke. And let's just do it better. Run it back, but better. There's definitely such things as mistakes. I made plenty of them. Yep, this will do. Again, it is slightly awkward in terms of mana. We don't have red mana. So there may be a design flaw in the deck. It is somewhat reliant on some good luck when it comes to... Okay, well, that's good news. So we'll get Mendicant Core down. Go up to 2 speed. Thunder Trap Trainer, okie dokie. A swing and a miss for the opponent there. Epicure. Yep, keep a Gear Drake. Attack with both here. I think speed only triggers once per turn, I believe. Interesting. Well, we'll take action. So I do potentially have Dispute available to me, depending on what they choose to do here. Yeah, I'll counter that. Because I think it's worth it for the extra value, because we'll go to max speed here. And we'll be able to copy our Gear Drake. Which is a pretty neat interaction. Yeah, they're kind of angling for a board wipe here. Not sure they're going to find it in 4 mana. They might have an Extinction Event or something. No, just Momentum Breaker. I'll sack the Spyglass Siren, I think is fine. Should have sacked Epicure there. Whoops. Oh well, don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference. Right, well, let's start with a Blood Token. Get a redraw. Start growing our Gear Drakes. And another land. Okay, we'll throw them again. While technically shrinking our Mendicant Core here. Okay, excellent. Right, we'll go one more time. I think this is a keepable hand, if not a great hand. Yeah, should have Sacred Foundry there, perhaps, to avoid the life loss. Because I could have then played a basic land. We'll see. And if I get Thought Seized here, it's quite awkward, losing my only other play. Nope, a Spyglass Siren. That I can live with. Little do they know, I've only got lands in my hand. Sure thing. 1 damage is acceptable. Another land really isn't. Okay, Flood Pit's Drowner. I'll offer them the trade anyway. No, didn't think they'd take it. So they're running a kind of Kaito deck here. Which means I may well get Kaito'd this turn, which would not be joyful. Yeah, well, there's some demons floating around as well. Okay, this could be the kind of just do it all style Dimir deck that I played on the channel a few weeks ago. Well, I'll keep Shrapnel Blast available to me. Epicure is actually okay here because it's also a redraw. So Shrapnel Blast can potentially do some work for us here. If they play like Unholy Annex, I'll probably use it to kill their Blade of the Oni. Fine. No Kaito, eh? Okay, down comes the Annex, so let's blow up Blade. They can still use their Oh, well, that's pretty cheeky. So I'm going to need some pretty good redraws here. So they're going to go to 10. Draw a lot of land. Well, that's one way of not getting got by the auto tapper. We could learn a lot. Ooh, you leave my Thraben Inspector alone. Maybe I should have crewed my Smuggler's Copter in response to that. In fact, I very much should have done, because otherwise I'm dead. And they know it. Block. Take... Yeah, I can only... Well, technically not dead, actually, because if I fire up the copter... I mean, this is all reliant on them not having a removal spell, which they almost certainly do, so don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. But if we go to blockers, take 3, take 2, go to 1. Okay. Block. Loot. So I need some way of getting this flyer out of the way. And also to do an additional damage. Seems tough. They're still very much in the driving seat here, even though I'm technically still alive. Well, that didn't help. So I go to 3. They draw, go to 10. I go to 1. Well, let's fire off the map. That won't do it by itself. Not entirely sure what I could draw here. But we lose to the Annex end of their turn anyway, so... Yep. That should have come about a million turns ago, but never mind. Yeah, flooded out a bit there. Right, so... Mystical Dispute. I think a null is pretty good here for their annexes. Sheltered by Ghosts. Yeah, a couple of those is probably okay, actually. So 7 cards to trim. Portable Hole. I think we can get rid of a couple of those. Trim a Metallic Rebuke. Lose the Glide cards, too vulnerable to Fatal Push. We'll just go down to 1 Portable Hole, perhaps. Yeah, it only really has... I mean, it's got a couple of good targets, but none of their creatures by themselves, apart from probably Blade of the Oni, are worth hitting. Oh god, this is another awkward hand. Can't cast any of my creatures, so it's going to have to go, unfortunately. That's a better one. So we'll put back Shrapnel Blast, I think, for this hand. Okay, well, they've got some good options here, I suppose. Probably take Mendicant Core. Legion Extruder. Okay, so they've probably got an answer for my Mendicant, but I'm going to play it anyway. Spyglass Siren, fine. Okay, so they probably got Fatal Push here, by the look of it. So we go up to 2 speed. The pushiest Fatal Push that ever pushed. Maybe not. Gosh, what a surprise. Didn't see that coming at all. Okay, down comes Kaito. That's the problem.
Don't be jealous of my just in time to save the day.
So Memory Guardian, once I play Gleaming Gear Drake, becomes a 2-drop, which is actually pretty good.
Information is its own weapon.
I do need an answer for Kaito, though. Blech. Okay, well, Gear Drake. Let's hit Kaito for 1.
I'm not scared of you.
But while it's still hitting me, it's a real problem, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, so far, Mendicant Core has proved surprisingly resilient. It's been a good card. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see whether any of these cards can go the distance. Right, well, we'll annul that as they've decided to cast it. Yeah, I was going to say, presumably they have a mystical dispute of their own or something. Yep, Spell Pierce. Okay, well, they're getting some cards out of it. But it is costing them life, at least. Okay. Don't hate having another Gear Drake available to me. Don't really want to discard that, but at the same time... This does kill Kaito? Or does it? No, maybe it doesn't. Okay, in which case... Yeah, it might kill Kaito, so that alone I don't think is worth losing the Memory Guardian. And again, I got screwed. Oh my god, the auto-tapper totally screwed me there. Yeah, I could have played that as well. Boo. Boo earns.
Never underestimate my skills.
Okay, so that's a 4-4. So I take 9 here. Go to 4. Annex triggers, I go to 2. Yeah, worth bearing in mind with affinity cards that the auto tapper's not doing its usual games. Okay. Don't think there's any good way out of this for us here, so I think I'll scoop that one up. Yeah, a couple of unfortunate things happened in that game. Still, I'd be interested to see her try that matchup again. Okay, well let's open some packs anyway while we're here. I think we've got a golden pack to open as well. So start with foundations. Yep, that's a card. Unstoppable Plan. Now that feels like a card which should probably break at some point. It's got something of the wilderness reclamation about it. Spectacular Pile-Up. Good way of getting around indestructible. Also destroys vehicles. Okay, let's see what's in the golden pack. Okay, nothing there much to talk about. So yeah, that was an interesting deck. Very unfinely tuned. It was just kind of throw everything together and see what happened. But yeah, Glide Car, maybe, maybe not. Mendicant Core did some decent work. These affinity cards, we didn't see them a huge amount, but Voyage Home I think would have been good. So yeah, there's something going here. I think it obviously needs a lot of fiddling around with. The mana was slightly awkward. Yeah, but interesting nonetheless. So we'll see if we can kind of, over time, build a slightly more competitive version of this kind of deck. I'm sure there'll be others working on it as well. But in the meantime, here's the deck list one more time, so let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, as ever, and I will see you next time.